Hi, I'm Anna and welcome to my YouTube channel. Wow, I've kind of been waiting a long time to say that. I've always wanted to do YouTube, but it's taken me so long to actually just take the leap and do it. Mostly because I don't know when I'm gonna have the time for it, but I'm committing right now to make the time for it. Also, I've always just been a little bit nervous to put myself out in that way, even though the majority of what I do all day is watch YouTube in the background of my work days. I never really thought that it could be me, but now I'm just like, why not? So here we are. If you are new to the YouTube channel, spoiler alert, you're new to the YouTube channel because this is only my second video ever. The first video I posted was over 2 years ago and I didn't share it to anyone. It is still up if you would like to go look at it, but it is definitely not my best work, and I'm sure this will not be my best work either because obviously I'm pretty new at this. I've been making content for a while, but YouTube is a whole new ball game. But I'm very excited to see where this goes. I've always just wanted to preserve my memories in this way, so here's me committing to that, and we're going for YouTube this year. For my first video, I thought it would be useful to do a little get to know me because obviously most of you guys don't really know who I am unless you're my friends watching this. Love you guys. Thank you for your support. But for anyone else, I'm Anna. Like I said, I'm 31 years old. I almost said 30, which is crazy because every year I turn another year older, I somehow seem to forget that I'm getting older. But I am 31. I live in St. Pete, Florida with my husband and my 2 dogs. I will put a picture of them here. We moved here in 2022. My husband was playing soccer at the time and got signed to play for the Rowdies, which is a minor league soccer team here in St. Pete. And we were familiar with this area because he has a twin brother who also played for the Rowdies, but a little bit before him. So we had already spent some time in St. Pete and knew that we loved it. We knew we eventually wanted to live here someday, but we had no idea that it would happen so soon for us. 4 months after we got married is when he was asked to come trial for the Rowdies. So we moved here in May of 2022 and it has been such a beautiful thing for us. We absolutely love St. Pete. That is definitely going to be a cornerstone of some of the content that you see on this page. We're Florida people now. We have always loved the beach, but now that we are here in St. Pete and live like 25 minutes from the beach, we are just so thankful to live that Florida lifestyle and be near the water and be able to be outside all the time. St. Pete is just a very vibrant community with lots to do always. So you will see a lot of St. Pete life around here, as well as beach days, as well as Disney. If you can't see, I became a Disney adult in 2021 when my husband took me to Disney with his family for the first time ever. I never went to Disney growing up because my mom was deathly afraid of getting on an airplane. So we didn't take any vacations that required a flight when I was younger. And yeah, we probably could have driven because I'm only from Georgia, which is like a 5.5 hour drive from Orlando, but that was just never something that my family did together, which is totally fine because now I can see it through an adult perspective and appreciate it in a different way. You'll see a lot of Disney content here. My favorite park depends on the day. Honestly, I think if I had to go number one right this second in my heart, I do think it would be Hollywood Studios. I just love the nostalgic classic vibes of Hollywood Studios. I do think that Magic Kingdom would probably be a close number 2. Depending on the day, it might be number 1, but I think deep down Hollywood Studios still has the number 1 spot for me. I do love an Animal Kingdom day as well, but as you'll probably hear from a lot of Disney people, or if you're not a Disney person, you may not realize, but I just don't find Animal Kingdom to be a full day park. I know people will probably have beef with me saying that, but personally, I just don't think it's a full day park. And even though I do love an Animal Kingdom morning, I just think that it just doesn't come close to the first 2 spots for me. And I will admit, I am not the biggest fan of Epcot historically. I will say I was recently graciously invited to a park day at Epcot for the opening day of the Festival of the Arts by the Disney team. And it was honestly one of the first days at Epcot that I've spent with a group of all adult friends, and we had the best time. I do think it may have changed my mind on Epcot just a teeny bit. I'm definitely more willing to do more Epcot days in the future without complaining about it, because in the past I've been like, I don't want to go to Epcot, and I know that'll shock some people, but it's just not my favorite. But I do think I'm coming around to the idea of an Epcot day. All of that to say, you will see a ton of Florida content on this page. Disney, beach days, St. Pete favorites. So if that is interesting to you, I'm so glad that you're here. A few other things that I wanted to touch on. If you did not know this about me, I am a full-time photographer. I do mostly weddings. I've been doing that for over 8 years now, and it is honestly so fun to be a part of people's best day ever. I mean, it is such a joyful job. And even though there is a lot of stress that comes with it, because it is just a huge undertaking of a task to perform for somebody, it is so fulfilling because you literally get to preserve somebody's memories that they keep for the rest of their life, which is just so, so special. I definitely have a soft spot for the fashion and the details of a wedding day. And as you guys probably know, Pinterest has completely taken over the wedding industry. So the majority of the weddings that I do get to shoot have so much detail included, which I love because I'm all about art and expressing it in different ways. And there's just so many ways that different art forms come out on a wedding day, which I absolutely love. And I am pro first look on a wedding day. I did a first look with my husband Ian on our wedding day. And honestly, I would tell anyone it was by far the best moment of our entire day. It was just so special to get to see each other and experience that like once in a lifetime moment with just the two of us and just really get to soak it in. So if you're planning a wedding, highly recommend a first look. But obviously, I love when people stay traditional as well. I feel like probably my weddings are like half and half with people that do first looks and people that don't. And besides weddings, I do a lot of content creation and photography for brands as well. I really love working with brands because it is much slower pace. There's a lot more room for creativity and kind of nailing a vision when it comes to branding photography, because it is obviously not as high stakes. It's not a once in a lifetime day. There's not a million different things going on, and you can really take your time and plan every single shot that you want to do at a branding session. And yes, there is a lot of creativity and switching up of ideas at a brand shoot, but for the most part, the vision is just super clear from the beginning. So you can really kind of nail those shots that you have in your mind. I've worked with brands like Stony Clover Lane, Nowadays, The Beach Club, what else? Lizard Thicket. Honestly, just the more I work with brands and do this, the more I really love it. I think it is such a fun switch up from wedding photography, but is still obviously using a lot of the same skills. And it just really falls well into my love for pretty aesthetic things. I've always been like this. I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, so I feel like in some ways that helps me with my photography, and in other ways it probably hinders me a little bit from getting as creative and taking as many risks as I probably should. But that is just kind of where the love from aesthetics comes from, which is partly why I love content creation, but it's also one of the reasons why I'm excited to do YouTube, because I feel like for a lot of my life and a lot of my career, things have just been boiled down to how aesthetic is it. And honestly, I'm kind of at the point in my life where not everything needs to be aesthetic, and I'm just done with my personality, my love for certain things in life being reduced to just a pretty photo that gets posted on Instagram. I'm super excited about long form content because I feel like I can kind of showcase my personality a little bit more and just use this as a way to be a little less filtered. And not that that's a bad thing, like that purely comes from a love of me making nice quality things, not necessarily from a need to be perfect all the time, even though I do think I definitely have a little bit of that perfectionism in me. It really just comes from me loving nice, pretty things and using that as an art form. So I'm kind of switching things up on YouTube. Obviously, I'm a newbie at this, so the editing probably won't be that great in the beginning, which is gonna make me be a little less perfectionist, a little less aesthetic in the beginning, at least anyway. So yeah, this is more so just gonna be a collection of memories, me just showcasing a little bit more of who I am. And side note, I feel like I probably am talking super fast right now, so if I am, I apologize. I'm definitely new to this, but I feel like it's something that I'm gonna have to just watch back and see for myself, and we will get better, I promise. This is gonna be a learned skill, and that's what I keep telling myself. So my husband and I did meet in college in 2013, which is crazy to think about because obviously that means now we've known each other for over 12 years. It does not feel like it has been that much time, but at the same time, it feels like he's always just been a part of me. We went to Mercer University in Macon, Georgia, which is where I grew up. It is not where I thought I would go to college, but I did get a scholarship, and other than that, there was no real reason for me to stay there and go to school in my hometown. But obviously it was meant to be because that's where I met Ian, and we've basically been together ever since. We actually met because one of my roommates my freshman year was from like a similar hometown as he was. It wasn't like the same exact town, but it was like in that general area. So they kind of knew of each other. They were kind of hanging out, and we met each other for the first time. And Ian's twin brother, Connor, also went to our same college, and supposedly he told Connor the night that we met that he had just met his wife. So that is kind of crazy to think about. We did all 4 years of Mercer together, and then he played soccer for a few years, which is obviously how we ended up in St. Pete, as I just told you guys. So we did do a little bit of long distance in there while he was playing soccer in Virginia, and then I was still in Georgia at the time. And then when he moved back to Georgia, we did a little bit more long distance while he was living in his hometown and I was living in mine. So we dated for like I think it was like 8 years before we got married. And we actually got married in Sarasota, which is only like 40 minutes from where we live now. But we were both still living in Georgia at the time and had no idea that we would be moving here. So that is kind of cool part of our story. Obviously, his twin was playing for the Rowdies at the time. So we knew we loved this area. We wanted to get married outside. We only had a few months of his soccer off season to get married, so we knew it would be warmer here than it would be back home. So we got married at the Powell Crosley in Sarasota, and now I get to shoot weddings there, and it is super special to go back to the place that we got married and just be there and relive kind of that magic all over again. I do think you'll see a lot of being a business owner on this page because most days I obviously work from home, so it is easy for me to kind of share bits and pieces of what I'm doing throughout the week when it comes to photography and admin work and all of the things that goes into owning your own business. So stay tuned for that as well. Yeah, I'm just super excited to be starting this journey. Obviously, I have a lot to learn about YouTube, but luckily I have put in many hours of watching my YouTube favorites, so I feel like I do kind of know the lay of the land, but doing it yourself is always a bit of a learning curve. So give me some grace, give me a little bit of time to work out the kinks, but we are just gonna roll with it. We're gonna see what YouTube brings us this year, and obviously, hopefully, in many years to come. I'm super excited about this, so I would love to have you guys follow along. Please subscribe below and stay tuned for many fun videos to come. I cannot wait to share this journey with you guys.